Hey everyone, what's going on? The Pokemonger's here. Hope you're doing well today. And I've been seeing just a gauntlet of videos about the future of Smash. Who's going to be in? Is it going to be a reboot? How many characters will there be? Will they port everybody over? What's the future of the franchise? Is Sakurai okay? Did they lock him in a basement? Does he have access to food? All the normal questions that we get around this time when it seems a Smash Brothers game might be out on the horizon. And I just wanted to throw my hat into the ring for a minute here and talk about, yeah, 10 characters that I'd like to see added in the next game. Will they happen? No, absolutely not. But, a man can dream, and basically that's what we're all doing right now. Even the people supposedly leaking information. Let me tell y'all, I don't believe it for a minute, but hopefully it is true. Anyway, let's get into my top 10 choices. Hope y'all are having a great day, by the way. Thanks for stopping by. So just like everybody else with an IQ that only has two digits to it, Waluigi is my number one Smash pick, right? And I know that it's been done to death. I know it's been memed. I know that there's, people are annoyed. Everybody just wants this conversation to be done and over with, and I get that. But there was a time, for Ridley fans, for K. Rool fans, for Sonic fans, for every Fire Emblem character that has overpopulated the Smash roster. There was a time when your character, Chrom, there we go, there's a great example, Chrom. There was a time when your character was the one that needed to come into the roster and, become the new character for Smash, right? So I think Waluigi's time is now. Uh, General consensus seems to be that he'd be the Mario spin-off character. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else he could do, really. I do hope they reference the Mario DDR game where he was the final boss and just let him like shred. Just absolutely kills everybody in in the Smash roster in a dance off in some way or something like that. For his trailer, I'd love to see it. But yeah, it's his time. Come on, y'all. Let's get Waluigi in this game. So my choice number two is also a an assist trophy in Smash Ultimate that I think should be upgraded to a character, and that would be Isaac from Golden Sun. Golden Sun is an amazing RPG that was made for the Game Boy Advance, and they've made several more since. But it's just such a really good game. It's very much a vibe, in my opinion, and I don't know that it's something for everybody, but for people who really like RPGs, sinking their teeth into it, and especially if you like maybe even a light bit of creature collecting in your game, I think you'd like this game. It's not like Pokemon or anything like that, but there's some fun stuff that you get to do with the Jin in the game. But yeah, I don't know. It's Isaac's time. Um, Nintendo's got another RPG slash strategy game they really 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 love to put in the game. But I think that it's time for Golden Sun to step up and become one of the big players. For Isaac to finally step up too, What do you think? I would really like to see Crash in the game. Um, when I was a kid, Sonic, Mario, and Crash were the big three mascots for gaming, right? And you had them. Crash Bandicoot drove up to Nintendo's headquarters and demanded that Mario fight him, right? I just Crash is such an integral part of what was going on in gaming when Smash Brothers was released, and I think that he's an important element of the series that's missing. Um, they added him in Smash Remix. If you haven't seen Smash Remix, please check that out here on YouTube. Crash was added to that game, and he's just perfect. Everything about that reveal was amazing. That something like that for him would be just absolutely wild. I'd love to see it. Um, Crash, he's got a lot of potential in his moveset, despite the fact that everybody knows him for spinning. There's more to it that he could really use. You could even incorporate his spin-offs in there, like they did with Remix, where they went heavy into Crash Team Racing and stuff like that. I would love to see Crash finally get in. What do you guys think? You think he'd be a good fit? So while we're on the topic of mascots from that era, Spyro, I'd love to see Spyro too. There's not a lot to say here that I haven't already said about Crash. He very much had the same DNA, and they fill kind of the same niche. So I can see why some people might find them a little redundant, but I think they're both just as big in terms of the era that they represent, and that they would be fun uh, people to put into the game. Sorry, I got people moving stuff above me there. Hopefully that didn't come through the audio, but if it did, sorry about that. So any Sonic representative at all would be really nice. My personal choice would be Robotnik Eggman. Um, I just think villains are needed more in Smash than other kinds of characters, and I think Robotnik with his Sonic Adventure 2 mech and his Eggmobile and all of his different kinds of I'd love to see him use something like the Egg Emperor from Sonic Heroes in his final Smash, or maybe he summons Metal Sonic to do something, right? I just think there's a lot of potential with all the different kinds of minions and mechs and units he has at his disposal to make a character that, I don't know, kind of borrows from the DNA of Bowser Jr. and maybe Steve a little bit, and involve building and crafting, and not like to the point that Steve does it, but maybe designing a robot to fight people, right? I think that you could do something like that with his character and make it fun. He's also just like I said, just one of gaming's like most memorable villains, and something that we need a little bit more of. So that would be my choice. He will not be the only Sega character on the list, but he is the first. What do y'all think? Well, we're gonna jump right into the other Sega character that I would put on this list, and the other Sega character that I would put on this list would be none other than Joe Musashi from Shinobi. Shinobi is such a freaking awesome series of games. There's just a lot of really, really, really cool different techniques that you can use in the course of those games. Bosses, lots of fun, just I don't know, it's just really like uh future future horror kind of stuff going on. Traditional like uh Onis and yokai over in Japan being fused with technology and stuff. It's a really cool franchise in general, and Joe Musashi would be a great addition to Smash. We don't have a real ninja. We've got a lot of imposter ninjas. We've got Greninja, we've got Sheik, right? They're all kind of stealing the ninja vibe, but we need a real ninja in there, and I think Joe's the answer. He's the guy for that. Um, yeah, so I think that you could borrow heavily from the new Shinobi game, and it's more Metroidvania style, and it's the different nimpos and stuff that it's got to make a more quote unquote modern Joe Musashi character to add in as a like cross promotion for Smash. I think that would be a good idea. Um, but you could do a classic one too. I don't think it's that hard to do that either. But what do y'all think? You think Joe's a good fit? So FPSs aren't exactly my cup of tea. They're not the go-to genre for me in any way, but Master Chief would definitely be a much needed addition to the roster, in my opinion. Chief is the first person genre in a lot of way, you know. So much of its DNA is owed to Halo and what Halo has done. And while I may not like FPSs very much, I do like lore and sci-fi and nerdy, extra galactic, expansive series. So I have read many of the Halo books and seen some of the Halo series, which wasn't that great, but I have seen it. And I do like the Halo universe a lot. There's a lot of potential to it that I think has been just squandered by the people in charge, unfortunately. I would really, really, really like to see um, so much more be, just come out of the Halo franchise. Just have it actually realize its potential. I don't think that's possible, but it'd be nice to see. But I think Chief being in Smash would be one of the first steps towards that. Getting him back in the public in the way that he was in Halo 2 and Halo 3 days, right? And getting people excited for what's next for Halo might put a little bit of impetus into the studio to, actually act on this, strike while the iron's hot, and actually make something of quality. A man can dream at any rate. Let's see. But what do you guys think? You think it's Chiefs time yet? Let me know in the comments. Castlevania is easily a franchise that needs another representative, and Alucard's the guy for it. Once again, he's another assist trophy. Several of his assist trophy attacks would be easy fits into Smash. I think a lot of the character is actually realized in that. It makes sense that Nintendo and Konami thought about using Alucard as the Smash representative when you see how much of him is fleshed out compared to some other characters. I mean, I think it's an easy win. Alucard is really emblematic of the franchise, despite not being part of the main lineage. For the franchise, not being a Belmont himself. He's got a lot of conflict with his nature and his father's allies. There's just so much to him. Symphony of the Night is one of the best games ever made. Love to see another game about Alucard at some point, and I hope that they consider, at the very least, throwing Alucard in. What do you guys think? Zelda hasn't had a new character since Brawl, and that's criminal, frankly. The Zelda franchise has exploded. Not that it wasn't big at the time of Brawl's release, of course, but it's ballooned. It's so huge now. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom have done so much for the Zelda franchise. They were the big reason the Switch was as big as it was, and Zelda just hasn't. I simply just don't understand why none of the Zelda characters that have been released have been considered for Smash, or at the very least implemented. Midna is just right there, great choice. I'd even be happy with like a Link Between Worlds representative, like Yuga. I mean, Breath of the Wild is the obvious choice. Throwing in somebody like well, there. It's funny because there's a lot of them, but I'm trying to think of which one would be I guess Sidon, right? Everybody and their mother loves Sidon. Some people really love Sidon. I think Sidon is an easy lock, or maybe Rauru from Tears of the Kingdom. The point is that there are a lot of good choices that have just been neglected. I would like to see Groose, personally, but that's never going to happen. But yeah, somebody from Zelda, would be great. Girahim, even. My personal choice would be Skull Kid, just because Majora is such a great game. It's frustrating sometimes, but it's a really great game. And so I would like to see Skull Kid, but I think there's just any number of Zelda characters. Just like I said with Robotnik, while my personal choice is him, any Sonic character works and any Zelda character works. Give your one of your Hallmark franchises like something to do in Smash, one of your biggest games. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with it. Do you guys want more Zelda representative? I would imagine so. Everybody and their mom liked Zelda. I don't see many people who would debate that. And for my personal last choice, with the series taking off right now, it's got that its newest game, Resident Evil Requiem out, and the Resident Evil film. I think it looks great. I'm excited. I want to learn more about it as time goes on and catch it when it finally comes out. Um, the other thing I was thinking was it might be a good idea to capitalize on it and throw it into Smash. I know that rated M series don't usually get a lot of representatives, and I also understand why, but I think Marvel vs. Capcom has shown that you can do it without making it too over the top or violent or anything. I mean, heck, they put Nemesis in there, and I mean, disgusting. He's just a filthy freaking abomination, right? So I think that Jill Valentine's an easy lock for this. She's my personal favorite of the Resident Evil protagonists, and I would like to see her get the spotlight like she did in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Maybe do something a little comedic with her character. I think that I think it's an easy fit for the whole thing. I mean, if Alucard's going to be in here, I think Jill Valentine's kind of tame compared to some of the stuff Alucard's done. So yeah, that's my final choice. What do you guys think? I'm sure there'd be a lot of votes for Leon, and I understand why. But I've always liked Resident Evil 1 and 3, and I've just grown attached to Jill as the Resident Evil protagonist. So that's my choice. What do you guys think? Let me know below. Okay, and that's gonna do it for this video. I have honorable mentions that I will just briefly touch upon. Most of them are from Sega because that's where a lot of my love comes from in video games. I just really love that company. I'll show you a little more about that later. But I'd like to see somebody like I think Goro Majima would be a fun bad guy character because he could be goofy and silly. I think that you could finally throw Akira in from Virtua Fighter and make him a character. Knights would also be a good choice. And my final representative from Sega would be to throw in Ai from Super Monkey Ball. And I don't really know how that one would work, but that's kind of why I want to suggest it. I just think it'd be fun to see. And then my last choice that I'd like to throw in, even though it's more than a video game, it's primarily a video game slash digital pet thing. I want Agumon in. I don't see why you couldn't. Bandai Namco does the Digimon games. They I think they just own it now. So I'd love to see them throw him in some way, find some sort of way to put his evolutions in as a mechanic, maybe that he can use. I think that'd be sweet. My personal favorite is Tyrannomon and all the Tyrannomon line, but I know that he'd get the Greymon treatment, which, of course, it's iconic. But anyway, those are just loose suggestions that I don't have as strong of a desire for because they're not. It's hard to flesh them out. Oh, I did forget one more. I do think Riku would be a fun suggestion for Kingdom Hearts. I do think you should do just like with Sora, do the Kingdom Hearts 1 Chain of Memories Riku and not the later Riku. Not necessarily because later Riku is a bad character or doesn't have anything he couldn't do, but he loses more of his identity. He becomes a little more generic as the series goes on. And that's not a bad thing, but for Smash, it makes him a little less unique. And I think that you should have a character that's fleshed out a little more and just do bad guy Riku. But yeah, those are my light suggestions that I'm not as committed to because I don't understand them execution wise. You know what I mean? I can't envision them working as well. But anyway, what do you guys think? Do you have picks? Leave them below. Let me know. I'd love to hear some suggestions. Thank you so much for coming on by. I appreciate you spending time here. Let your family know that you love them. Stay safe out there in this crazy world. And I'm going to see y'all in the next one. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Real quick. Got to do this every time. I don't own Super Smash Brothers. I don't own Nintendo. I don't own Bandai Namco. I don't own any of the franchises that are featured in Super Smash Brothers in any way, shape, or form. I'm merely speculating for fun. This is fair use. It's transformative. I'm not in any way, shape, or form trying to claim ownership of any of these properties. They belong to their respective owners. Thank you all so much for your time. Have a great night.